Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you all for being here today for a long time. As you all have heard, I understand the importance of being good stewards of our environment. My home state of West Virginia is abundant in natural resources, which provide critical jobs and is the cornerstone of our state's economy. Furthermore, the companies who mine the land in my state certainly understand the importance of caring for the environment, protecting the delicate ecosystem, providing clean water, and improving the infrastructure in the state. Considering these critical aspects in total is absolutely necessary for ensuring the longevity of the land and these precious resources. That is why I am worried about broad, sweeping, and dangerous proposals such as the Green New Deal. Such proposals seek misguided, one-size-fits-all approach that poses an imminent threat to the economy of my state, critical jobs for my constituents, and the lifeblood of West Virginia. The intent of the Green New Deal is to completely halt natural energy production, stop the use of air travel and cars, and end cattle farming. This is just a rebranded war on coal, oil, and gas. Coal, oil, and gas production is at its most efficient. In West Virginia, nearly 30,000 people work in the energy industry, and 93% of our electricity comes from coal. Plans like the Green New Deal would certainly be a death blow to our economy. We can and must do better. The previous administration took devastating steps that put the coal industry in my state on life support. We need a more common sense approach to protecting the environment than just eliminating our energy industry altogether. My constituents demand it. I will do everything in my power to make sure that we protect the economy of West Virginia and the jobs of my constituents. To the whole panel, how can we ensure that we protect and promote existing energy jobs under any new proposed infrastructure plans? Okay, Mr. Proctor. In your testimony, you discussed the importance of keeping good jobs in America. How can Congress be a partner to industry to ensure jobs stay here in the United States?
Well, one of the primary mechanisms, and one that's been shown to work very well, is using domestic preferences when it comes to infrastructure investment. 3 of the 4 major water programs already have a domestic preference, otherwise known as Buy American requirement for iron and steel products that go into our water infrastructure. And it has successfully not only preserved jobs, but brought jobs back from overseas into the United States within our industry. That same sort of program would work well when it comes to disaster mitigation. Now, let me say right up front that in the event of a natural disaster, our primary and if not only focus needs to be getting relief to the people who are affected by that natural disaster as quickly as possible. But when you're talking about pre-disaster mitigation, the things that happen before the disasters, when you have time to think about the impacts, that's a perfect opportunity to think not only about the immediate disaster preparedness impacts, but also the overall impacts on the economy. And that would be a situation where using a domestic preference for iron and steel products would have not only the benefit of helping to make certain that our infrastructure is hardened, to make certain that the products are produced here in the United States where environmental emissions are a fraction of what they are overseas, but also to get the multiplier effect of infrastructure investment so that we get the full bang for our buck. I think the statistics that you frequently see are that every dollar of infrastructure that's invested here in the United States produces something like $1.75 or $2 of increased GDP. That's even more the case when you invest those dollars in domestically produced iron and steel materials.
Thank you. And how can Congress help industry maintain a competitive advantage against foreign nations or with foreign nations?
Well, one, is that to me
Am I
also?
allowed- Should I just yield back my time, or may he answer?
Okay. Well, one measure that I touched on briefly earlier is to make certain that our workforce has the skills that they need to be able to operate the foundries, the factories, and the water systems of today. But the other thing is to make certain that as we build out our infrastructure, that we do it in a smart way so that we're more efficient, and also to, as I mentioned earlier, to level the playing field so that when we're proud of the safety and environmental performance of our facilities over here. We've invested hundreds of millions of dollars to have the best facilities
Mr.
in the
Proctor,
world.
I think your time is up.
Okay.
Time is up.
Thank you.
I yield back my time.
Ms. Mercasile Powell, you're on.